Hi everybody, just doing a live before I go do some other things today. I wanted to talk about, we were talking in the secret group, and you guys should all join the secret group, obviously. I tell you that like all the time because it's so much fun and there's smart people in there. It is not as bad as the rest of the internet. In fact, it's pretty good, so you guys should definitely join. We were talking about, like, on a dating app, if you should try to make yourself more interesting, like especially hobbies. Should you try to have a bunch of hobbies that you don't really have? Should you try to cultivate these hobbies so that you seem more interesting to potential mates? No. Then you're going to have to do those hobbies that you don't really even like in order to keep the facade going forever. Who wants to do that, right? You got to be you. You know, if you're not somebody with a lot of hobbies, then you're not. Can you imagine how terrible that would be? Like, you have to go, like, what are some hobbies? I don't have any hobbies. Like, axe throwing, is that a hobby? CrossFit, like, then what, you're gonna have to be like a CrossFit person forever when you're not a CrossFit person, just so that you don't seem disingenuous to this person? It's like a Twilight Zone episode, right? So and in the group, the secret group, which you should all join, blue subscribe button, it was a woman who was saying, like, maybe men won't be interested in me because I don't have any hobbies. In the history of the universe, I don't think a man's ever said, I'm not going to take that woman on a date because she doesn't have the right hobbies. I mean, once you're a mother, you don't even have any hobbies, most people. You're working, you're a mother, you're trying to have some form of social life, trying to work out. When do the hobbies come? Now, as I said in the group, look at Chimp Empire. The men are playing and the women are taking care of the children and grooming. Hi, Kayla. And so you don't need to have any hobbies that you don't really have. If you're a sort of person, like, also, like, you probably have hobbies anyway. You just don't think of them as, like, hobbies. Like, I read, so bam, reading is a hobby. I cook, because we have to eat, so I guess cooking is a hobby. TV, everybody watches some TV. There's another hobby. But you don't need to make shit up. And this is, like, a larger problem. People that think that they need to make shit up in order to be interesting struggle with self-esteem and often codependency. Thank you for the likes, guys. Please keep sending the likes, and you could comment and cut me off at any time or ask more about this. So you don't need to have any hobbies. Like, if you don't have any hobbies, don't have any hobbies. Then you're just going to, and also, like, it's not like they don't have to have any hobbies. You're not like the hobby police, so then they would have a hobby and you would sit at home and read or take care of your kids or, like, whatever. So I was very successful in online dating. I don't have any hobbies. I mean, again, unless you count life activities as hobbies, like the gym. Okay, I go to the gym, hoping that helps my health, whatever. I'm not certainly a person who's, like, into it, You don't have to be. I'm into my career. I'm into my children. I mean, everybody isn't the same person. So, and this is, like, another thing that guys really struggle with, especially young guys. When I have young male clients, I have guys who say, I haven't traveled enough places. For what? If she wanted to learn about other countries, she could visit them herself or read a damn book about them. You're not her travel agent. You're not a travel blogger. There's never been a woman who's like, I thought that guy was pretty cute till I found out he had only been to 3 other countries and not 7. Or 0 other countries and not 1. Like, that just doesn't happen. Unless you're obsessed with something. In which case, how would you expect to be the person that is totally compatible with the CrossFit girl or the travel guy if you're not actually that person? You're not going to be happy. For the rest of your life, your ass is going to have to be in CrossFit that you don't like, because you have to be keeping up with this person who's like the only man in the world who only wants to date a woman who does CrossFit. Or, like, you're going to have to be traipsing across the world so that you can be a travel buddy. No, you got to be happy with being yourself. Now, if you want some more hobbies to self-actualize, then get them. But God's honest truth is that most hobbies that genuinely appeal to women are not ones that appeal to men. Because, like, for example, I did an art class, or except, like, shit like hiking, right? So, like, hiking, cool. You like tennis, cool. You're not also going to be, like, as athletic as a guy who's in his prime doing a thing because you're smaller. Sometimes I think everybody should just watch Chimp Empire because we are just like Chimp Empire. But anyway, like, so I just did like some glass jewelry making class with my daughter. So that could be a hobby. I mean, it's not going to be because I have no time, because going back to point number one, I work and have children. But let's say I wanted that to be my hobby. Well, you think like a man is like, oh shit, that makes her a pretty good cat. She likes the glass jewelry making. No, they don't give a shit. The reason that they ask you, because this person said, but they ask me online on internet dating, they ask, what are your hobbies? And I don't have any. They ask you because they're supposed to ask you. It's like saying like, hi, how are you? It's like part of the mating dance of dating apps. They're not like hoping you say specific hobbies. They are hoping that you find them to be a good conversationalist and somebody who asks about you, versus every man knows you're not supposed to just talk about yourself. That's in the common popular media. So they aren't asking about hobbies, most of them, because they have some sort of thing that they're gunning for, that they're hoping for. You know, they're just asking to make conversation. So don't let this hobbies thing or this interests thing or this travel thing, you know, make you feel less than. You be you, and then somebody will be attracted to you. And most people do not, after having multiple children, have a plethora of other hobbies, because there are only 24 hours in the day. You know, and this specific person that asked this question has 3 small children and a full-time job. Much like the situation that I used to be in. Now I still have the same children, but they are older, you know. So for example, I can do this live right now while they are all doing their own thing for a little bit. But so I don't have any hobbies. Like, how would I have any? I'm also doing Dr. Psych Mom, right? So there, that's my hobby. Anyway, does anybody have any more questions about this? Hobbies, internet dating, whether you should turn yourself inside out to attract somebody? Obviously, you know what I'm going to say. You should not. Or anything else at all, because it's so much more fun when you guys engage. But you can ask anything you want. Internet dating is great. Don't listen to spoil sports that say it's not. Some people can shit all over anything, right? Glad Kayla found this to be funny. Hi, David. Thanks for participating, man. I could always count on you to join these and say hello. Anybody else have any questions about internet dating, life, sex? Did you like my funny little zodiac sign thing? You should go look at my most recent reel. I really thought that was going to be funny. I think it was pretty funny. It says, oh, good, I have a question, so I don't have to continue speaking about nothing. Christine says, I found people enjoy hearing about things that make us happy and we feel passionate about. Feeling happy and passionate about something can help you be even more attractive. Could be a hobby or your job or your children. God's honest truth right there. Exactly, Christine. Exactly. Now, if you are somebody who does not struggle with being happy or passionate about anything, then that is an internal problem, and one that should not be fixed for the sake of dating, but one that should be fixed for the sake of being a full human being that can enjoy your brief time on this planet. Paul says, do you have advice on co-parenting? Yes, Paul, I do. If you go to the Dr. Psych Mom show, I have a podcast about it. But even more importantly, I have a book called How to Talk to Your Kids About Your Divorce, available on Amazon, and that touches on co-parenting as well. But I would need you to have a much more specific question. I work with people, I consult with people on co-parenting too that have read my book and what have you. Thank you for the stars, Kayla. You got a bigger budget now that I've told you don't have to have a hobby. Anyway, if you have any specific questions, Paul, about co-parenting, then you feel free to ask them. I co-parent. I am divorced and remarried, as you must all know by this point, since I say it all the time. And I do have some more minutes to answer questions. So, Paul, you can give me your specifics on that, or anybody else can ask anything. Somebody very nicely messaged me and said, oh, you know, don't worry. It's not that people don't want to engage. People really like watching your lives, but everybody isn't as gregarious as you, so they may feel anxious or nervous about asking questions in real time. And that was so funny to me because I'm not gregarious at all. I'm the definition of the extroverted introvert. I can be extroverted for the purposes of my job, certainly, and doing things like this, but not in general. In general, I mostly hang out myself with my children or with my husband. But it's always good to know that I can come off gregarious because that's helpful for my media. Like I couldn't do it otherwise if I was just coming off like, like I couldn't even talk to people. I certainly wouldn't be a very good psychologist. But I found that interesting. And I've heard that before, people that say that I must be an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. Most highly sensitive people are not extroverts, although some are. Some people are highly sensitive extroverts, but the majority are highly sensitive introverts. So that's kind of how that goes. But I do have a good post that you guys would like if you're interested in extroverts versus introverts called The Extroverted Introvert. And maybe I will share that one. Maybe I'll share that one right now because none of y'all are asking me anything. So I can do that. Oh, there's Paul. Extroverted introvert. How do I develop boundaries and make my current fiance? Well, first of all, don't call her your current fiance, man. Just call her your fiance. She's not going to like that. Comfortable with our co-parenting relationship. Oh, this goes beyond, Paul. You're going to have to join the secret group if you'd like in depth, because I don't know what you're doing. But I have a whole bunch of stuff on, in the divorce section of my website, drpsychmom.com. You could click on divorce, and I talk a lot about this. But I don't know what you're doing. I assume she thinks you're letting your ex walk all over you, and I mean, you could be. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. But you should probably get some advice on that in the group, or, I mean, you could, like, what's the thing that most bothers her? What did you most recently do that she's like, I don't understand why you let that woman walk all over you, right? Because what's going to happen, Paul, is eventually she's not going to hate your ex anymore. She's going to hate you. I know. It couldn't possibly happen. You're in the honeymoon stage. But this is a warning system, a warning, warning, right? Eventually, if you don't fix whatever she's got problem with you and your co-parenting, she's no longer going to take the intellectual shortcut of blaming your ex for being a terrible person. She's going to start to think, what's his problem? Because she's going to start to have the same problems with you that your ex did. That's the reality. And you'll start to have the same problems with her that her ex did. So it's good that you're starting to think about this stuff now. You probably want to move at a quicker pace, Paul, with the comments. I know we drove to a kids' event together. Tell me the rest of it in one paragraph so I can understand what happened. You drove to a kids' event together with whom? With both of those women in your car? That would not be smart. I have a post on you can't have family Thanksgivings and stuff, this amicable shit that people try to have. Everybody comes to me, they're like, oh no, you don't understand, we're going to be really good friends after divorce. We're going to be excellent friends. We're even going to do holidays together. About 5% of those people end up doing holidays together. If you were asked to do holidays together, then you probably would still be married. So that's God's honest truth. And as soon as one of you remarries, you're certainly not doing holidays together, unless it is a highly unusual situation. So just assume that you're going to be in the 95% of people who do not do things together with your ex, except if it's going to the kids' graduation, going to the kids' play, going to the kids' game. Sure, wonderful. But if it's events that are like hours long in one of your homes, you're not going to be together. My fiance was upset that we traveled together. Yeah, because you don't have any boundaries. Yeah, Paul. Paul, you should be in the secret group, or really beyond that, you should probably reach out for help, individual help, or consultation at the very least, or coaching, because, yeah, of course you're not supposed to be driving with your ex-wife in a car to the event. Well, you don't have your own car? Get a bus, get an Uber. We're in the age of Uber. No. Your fiance is right on that one. You're going to get extra points if you share this live with your fiance. But unless there are so many of things that I don't know are going on, like she's disabled and the only way she could get to that event was in your car or something, then no, you're not married anymore. You're going to be married to a different person. So that's the person that you should be traveling with, or solo, but not together. Not together. Not unless you are. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine the situation in which you would have to go together. Perhaps you could explain it to me. Or perhaps you could be like, light bulb moment. Maybe I have not been asserting the boundaries that I need to be, and my fiance has a leg to stand on. That would be a very, see, you're laughing. So you can take feedback, Paul. That's good. You're coachable. You should join the secret group. I only want coachable people in there. It's a no asshole environment. But yeah, she's right. You're wrong, definitely. And that is what women want to hear. So just in time for Valentine's Day, you should tell her, give her the gift that keeps giving. You should say, you were right and I was wrong. And I should not still be going in the car together with my ex-wife as though we are still married, because we are not. My bad. I will not do that anymore. And then she'll be happy, I think. I mean, if she's constantly mad at you, though, then that's a her problem. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't know the entirety of your situation. I would have to know the entirety in order to tell you about it. But on this one, if this was the only thing she was mad about, then I say she's right. Good. Any more questions? There's 32 of you watching, so send your likes. That really helps Dr. Psych Mom. It helps me get out the word about Dr. Psych Mom to everybody. Is your fiance younger with no kids, or is she somebody who also has her own kids, Paul? Should tell me about that. If she's younger with no kids, then she especially feels bad, because then you got these kids with the other one, and so she's never going to have kids with you, or she doesn't know she's never going to have your first round of kids. So then she's even more, anxious and sensitive about it. So you can tell me that one too. And anybody else can ask a question. I'm here for a few more minutes. Yeah, no holidays, Paul. I mean, it's just not a winning strategy, because your fiance is going to want to have her own holidays. Why is she going to want to have that woman in her house? It just doesn't make any sense. Paul says, fiance gets upset about the constant text messages. She doesn't have kids, but we want to. Same ages. Poor thing. Okay, so picture her perspective. She's not got to have kids yet. I don't know why, but now you'll always have had kids for the very first time with somebody else. That makes her sad, right? You can empathize with that, or at least you can now that I've told you to. And so you should not be constantly texting her. You shouldn't be responding instantaneously. There shouldn't be joking around. You're supposed to be talking to her like you would talk to a colleague. A colleague. You shouldn't be doing it after 8 p.m. or before 8 a.m. unless something is really relevant happening with the children. You have to create boundaries if you want to really start a life with another woman. Because she's probably right, She's probably right that you're a little bit too, not touchy-feely, but friendly. In a way that makes her feel bad. And you didn't divorce somebody to be their best friend. If you could be best friends, you'd still be married to them. That's the truth. Brooke says, no question, but thank you for your content around responsive desire and so much of the other work you do. Has helped normalize my sexual relationship with my husband after 3 children together, the youngest of whom is 17 months old, only a baby. Well, Brooke, you should definitely, that is just a baby. I was still nursing my last until 17 months old. So definitely you are not in the most sexual phase of your life, and responsive desire definitely has to be understood. The odds of you having spontaneous desire for your husband with 3 kids, the youngest of whom is under 2, is low, and I mean, it's good that you know that. So thank you for the feedback. I'm glad that has helped your relationship. All right. Anybody have one more question? Let's take one more question. Paul's fiance is going to love me after this live. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, any one more question? 17 months is a baby, Brooke. That is cute. Let's see. Any one more question, or are we all done? Maybe we are all done for today. Send your likes if you have watched, and if you like this stuff, you should definitely be listening to my podcast, The Dr. Psych Mom Show. That's available on all platforms. And Google, Apple, and Spotify, among others. And you should join my secret group. If you can't get in with the blue subscribe button, there are 2 links in a pinned post at the top of my page that can help you. All right, guys, I hope everything goes well. I hope you apologize to your fiance, Paul. I hope, Brooke, that you are still sharing my stuff with your husband. And thank you, everybody that participated, and I'll see y'all later. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.